Officer Dan here with a fresh install vid. Today we'll be tackling the Gktech S13 240sx 180sx and R32 Weld-in reinforcement plate. So let's check out what's in the box. The largest plate's going to be the Diff brace. You're also going to get 2 of the traction arm braces, as well as the toe arm braces, the LCA rear braces, the Camber arm braces, and the LCA front braces. Sorry, no dental braces included. Let's weld these things in. Now, before you get started, there is a welding guide available at www.gktech.com. It explains where the plates go, where to stitch weld them, and any other details you might need for weldage. So check it out. First things first, check the arm for clearance. You don't want to weld these plates in and then not be able to have any suspension articulation. Next, install the bolt, washer, and nut and tighten those down to the torque spec listed below. Grab a paint marker so you can mark where the welds are actually going to be, then clean them up with your favorite tool of choice. Now, you're going to want to tack weld it in place in a few places. You will probably need to maneuver the plate somehow to make it flush with the actual subframe, so use your tool of choice to do that as well, and spot weld the rest of the plate in place. Once it's been spot welded, you can go ahead and stitch that thing together 10 to 15 millimeters apart. Now it's time for the camber arm plates. Finagle those in and then clean up the area to the best of your ability for optimal weldage. Then go ahead and stitch weld that thing into place 10 to 15 millimeters apart. Now we're going to move to the traction arm. Mark it out, clean it up just like as before, and then spot weld all of the corners together to hold it into place. Then lay down those beads 10 to 15 millimeters apart. Bam! Traction arm complete. Let's rock on over to the LCA front brace. This time we're going to mark it out just like we did before. Clean it all up, making sure to get through all the paint or any blemishes that might be there. You're going to tighten the LCA front arms and torque to the specs below. Then spot weld into place and then stitch weld 10 to 15 millimeters apart, as shown before. Now, you will probably need to massage the end of the plate to get it flush with the subframe, so do that with your favorite tool and then finish on stitch welding. Now let's move on to the rear LCA plate. Just slide that one in and tack weld the 2 holes after cleaning it up, then stitch weld 10 to 15 millimeters apart. Flip the subframe over and get the top of them 10 to 15 millimeters apart. Now you can remove the arm itself and make sure to stitch weld on the inside as well. Just be sure that you have clearance with the arm. Now let's slap the diff plate on, mark it out just like we did with every other step in this handy dandy how-to guide, and then clean up all the surfaces all the way through the paint for welding. Get that thing nice and shiny. Now, you do want to fit the diff plate and actually tighten the diff bolts down to the torque specs shown below. Now, tack weld the corners in place so you don't have to hold it on there. Now lay down those rolls of dimes 10 to 15 millimeters apart, as shown on the screen right meow. Do not forget to weld around the circle in the center, again 10 to 15 millimeters apart. Now flip the subframe over and finish welding the bottom side of the diff brace. It's time to get your fresh powder coat on, or you can spray paint it. You just want to get rid of that raw metal so it doesn't rust itself off of your car. Install that thing back in, put all the arms back on, and go shred with your newly beefed up subframe from GK Tech. This is Officer Dan out. Check us out on the YouTubes.